13.1, organizing data using matrices. Now today, it's all about the organization of your data. So please understand, it's really not a lot of math involved or algebra involved. It's all about organization of a bunch of numbers. Now the matrices part, you've seen these, but we will be reviewing them. Your objective: to organize data in a matrix and add and subtract matrices and multiply a matrix by a scalar. So you're going to be looking at all of this today. 13.1. Vocabulary. Matrix, a rectangular arrangement in rows and columns. Now all matrices are boxed in these types of weird little brackets, but they're big based on how many rows and columns you have. Element, each number in a matrix. A scalar is a real number factor, which basically means your multiplication number. Scalar multiplication, multiplying a matrix by a real number. So now, let's get started. First, they show you what to do by color coding. That's kind of nice. Color coding does help. So first, I'm going to draw the exact same type of matrix that they began with. So right here, whatever type of matrix they give you, that's what your answer will be in. Now, let's go with red. -5, and we're adding here, plus -3. That should be a -8 for the first position. Then they give us blue, 2.7 plus a -3.9, which is a -1.2. You're definitely going to want a calculator for this lesson. And then next we have purple, which is 7 and -4. So 7 plus -4, which is a +3. And last but not least, we have green, which is a -3 plus a +2. So that comes out to a -1. Now, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is all you had to do, was to create a matrix based on the addition of the two matrices that they gave you. So for those of you that thought this was going to be hard, not at all. All right, so for the next problem, we're just going to match up to, and this time it's a minus, so always make sure you scope out what operation they give you. That makes all the difference. 2 minus -1. So first we have 2 minus -1, which is 3. Then we'll have 11 minus 8, which is another 3. Remember, the matrix answer has to be in the same format as the problem. So it's going to be 2 rows and 3 columns. And then -4 minus a -6.5, which is a +2.5. And then 3.2 minus 4, which comes out to -0.8. And then we have 1.5 minus 0, which comes out to 1.5. And then -5 minus a -3, which is -2. And there's your answer. Remember, the matrix answer is supposed to be in the same format as the problem. All right, why don't you go ahead and give A a try and see how you do. All right, if you did these correctly, the first one should just be 1 column, 3 rows. So 5 plus a -9 is a -4. 3.2 plus a -1.7, which comes out to a 1.5. And the -4.9 plus a -11.1, which comes out to a -16. All right, and there's the answer for A. For B, it's a 2 by 2. So -4 minus a -5, which comes out to a 1. -4 minus a -1, which comes out to -3. 3 minus a 0.5, which comes out to 2.5. And then 7 minus -3, which is 10. And there's the answer for B. All right, For C, it says reasoning. Explain why you cannot add or subtract matrices that are not the same size. So basically, why would we not be able to take like this matrix and add or subtract it to a 2 by 2 matrix? Because for every number, for every element, which means the number, for every number in a matrix, it must have a pair in a corresponding. Corresponding means the same size. In a corresponding matrix. So basically both of them must be the same size in order to have one number to have a pair each time. All right, go ahead and give this one a try and see how you do. All right, if you did this one correctly, first things first, it's a 2 by 3. So go ahead and make your matrix. So 4.1, and that's going to add to 2.9, which comes out to 7. And then 6 added to 5 is 11. A negative 2 plus 7 is a positive 5. Then 3 plus 4.2, which is 7.2. And 7.5, that's plus a negative 9, which is negative 1.5. And then negative 8 plus 11, which comes out to a positive 3. And there's the answer for A. Now for the next one, it's a 2 by 2. So first we have 9 minus 15, which would be a negative 6. And then 14 minus a negative 6, which makes it really a plus, which would be 20. And then negative 8 minus a negative 12, which is really negative 8 plus 12, which is 4. And then 5 minus 4, which is 1. And that's your final answer. All right, let's move on. All right, for this next one, we're multiplying a matrix by a scalar. So check out this 3 on the outside. What your job is, multiply outside scalar, and that's just a multiply outside number. So, but we'll call it a scalar. We're going to use appropriate language here. Multiply outside scalar to every number inside. And that's it. It's basically distribution. You're just multiplying this number to everything, every element on the inside. That's it. So we're going to rewrite the matrix in the exact same format, just different numbers. 3 times 4, which is 12. And then 3 times a negative 1.5, which is negative 4.5. And then 3 times 1, which is 3. And then 3 times negative 6 is a negative 18. And done. So not very difficult. Now take a look at these. Go ahead and give them a try and see how you do. All right, if you did the first one correctly, it's just a 1 by 3. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. Negative 2 times 7.1, which is a negative 14.2. Probably should have given myself a little bit more room to write. Negative 2 times 5 is a negative 10. And there's your final answer. For the next one, it's a 2 by 2. I always like to make my matrices a little bit bigger so I have room to write. 1.5 times 11 first is 16.5, or a negative 16.5, I should say. And then 1.5 times 3, which is 4.5. And 1.5 times 0 is, of course, 0. 1.5 times a negative 1.5, which is a negative 2.25. And there's your final answer. All right, go ahead and try this one and see how you do. All right, if you did this one correctly, it is a 2 by 2. And we have 12 times negative 1.25, which is negative 15. 12 times 3 is 36. And 12 times 2 is 24. Then 12 times a negative 1.5 should be a negative 18. And there's your final answer. All right, now we're actually going to apply these matrices, and it's not a hard thing. The only thing that probably is the most challenging is that you have to organize the data before finding the answer yourself. So it says, use the weather chart below. Which cities has the greatest average number of clear days in a full year? So right here, you're given 3 cities in different months, and we go over clear and cloudy days. So your job is to create a matrix of each of the 2 different seasons. So if we start off with September to February right here, and we don't care about the names, we just really care about the data, we need it to be a 3 by 2 because we have clear and cloudy that we need to write in. So for Phoenix, we have 102 and 41. For Miami, we have 43 and 58. For Portland, 55 and 82. So if we write down which one means what, this one is the clear and this one's the cloudy. And we're arranging it in a matrix in order to compare it to the other season. So make your other matrix. And it says here Phoenix is 110, 27, 31, 59, 45, 83. And again, the first column is clear and then cloudy. All right, so it says here, which city has the greatest average number of clear days in a full year? Now it says here, these numbers are based on average number. So all we have to do is add in order to get the totals. So let's go ahead and add them and we'll have our totals. Starting off with Phoenix of 102 and 110, which comes up to 212 clear days. Then 41 plus 27, which is 68 cloudy days. Then next we have Miami, 43 plus 31, which comes up to 74 clear days. And then 58 plus 59, which comes up to 117 cloudy days for Miami. For Portland, we have 55 plus 45, which comes out to exactly 100 clear days. And then 82 plus 83, which is 165 cloudy days. So let's go back to the question at hand. Which city has the greatest average number of clear days? So basically, which one had the most clear days? Remember, the first column meant clear. So let's look at the clear column. Which one had the most? Yep, you got it. This one, which is Phoenix. So answer the question. Phoenix had the most number of clear days on average. All right, so that wasn't so bad, right? Let's take a look at our next one. Using the exact same data that we just had, which city in problem 3 has the greatest average number of cloudy days in a full year? Now remember, this was all based on average number already. So all we're looking for is the biggest number of cloudy days. So right here, which one had the biggest? Bingo. And who is that? Portland. So all we have to do is write Portland. We're done. So that's not too hard. All right, why don't you guys go ahead and try this problem and see how you do. All right, now you have 2 different tables here. It's about student council president, and they want to know which candidate won the election. Now here's the deceptive piece. Some of you read freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and thought, wait a minute, they're different, so do we add them? Well, let me explain this. The freshmen voted for Maria and Clarence. Sophomores voted for Maria and Clarence. So did juniors and seniors. So these are all votes not based on freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. It's based on Maria and Clarence. So what you would do is, of course, set up your matrix. And we have here 117 for Maria and 145 for Clarence. 96 for Maria. Or I guess you could say 96 there. and 132. Honestly, we could set this up on one big giant matrix, which I think, why don't we just go ahead and do that? So let's put this in a nice big one where one is going to be Maria and then the other one will be Clarence. So we need a 2 by 4. So for Maria, we have 117 for Maria, 145 for Clarence, 96 for Maria, 132 for Clarence, 151 for Maria, 108 for Clarence, and then 112 for Maria and 119 for Clarence. So what are they asking you to do? They're not even really asking you to add up matrices. They're just asking you to add up a column. So if you added them up correctly, find the totals for each person. Let's start off with Maria. 117 plus 96 plus 151 plus 112, which came out for Maria 476. For Clarence, 145 plus 132 plus 108 plus 119, which comes out to 504. And the winner is Clarence with the most votes.